Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to Characters Explained, a series where I cover characters from the game Battle for Neighborville, to ultimately decide if they're worth trying or not. And in today's video, we're covering a character that has the support role, which is a first in this series, and their name is Scientist. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. So Scientist is an interesting character in this series. The reason I say that isn't just because he's one of the only characters who don't have any presence in the mainline games. I actually say that because Scientist used to be one of the strongest characters in the shooter games. Seriously, if you've never played Scientist in Garden Warfare 1 or Garden Warfare 2, do so right now. You'll see how insane his damage is. But truthfully, there's not much else I could say about Scientist's background, as there's not a whole lot in the other games that can link up to the context of this video. So I think we should just move on to his basic stats. Scientist has a support role on his team, and to be more specific, he's a healer. So if you think his stats seem bad, I want you to remember this detail because he's not supposed to be a powerful attacker. Anyways, Scientist has 100 HP, and his primary, the Goo Blaster, fires 11 pellets with one shot, so it's like a shotgun. These pellets can hit 1, 2, or 3 damage, with 3 being the critical hit damage. The maximum damage you can hit an enemy for is 38 or 39, so that's pretty good. The weapon also has 10 ammo, and its starting RPM is 90. I'll explain why I worded it that way later. So this is all good so far. Sure, Scientist was heavily nerfed in BFN, but it was for a very good reason. This character is actually pretty good now, all things considered. And I wouldn't be saying that unless I had a good reason to, so let's cover that reason with his new kit. Let's start with Sticky Healy Thingy. This ability is exactly what it sounds like. It's a throwable heal ball that can stick to enemies, teammates, and any surface. When it sticks to something or someone, it'll heal around 95 HP to any zombie within its radius, even yourself. So it's a pretty solid ability, but the cooldown time is rough. It's 32 seconds, which makes it a lot harder to use this ability properly. Next up is Scientist's Classic Warp, which is a really good ability in this game. So in the previous shooter titles, this ability allows Scientist to warp forward, and you can only have a maximum of 2 warps at any time. But in BFN, things are significantly changed. You can now warp in any direction, and you can hold up to 3 warps at any given time. This is a really good tool to have, and it actually makes Scientist a pretty mobile character. And the final ability is Healing Hose. This ability is like Scientist's Heal Beam from Garden Warfare 2, but now it actually heals whatever's in front of him. This actually means that Scientist can heal multiple targets at a time, unlike Sunflower, and he does so pretty quickly as well. Now there is one more thing I didn't mention, and that's overhealth. Listen, I'm not getting into the intricacies of this gimmick in this video, but I'll probably make a video on it in the future. But all you need to know currently is that overhealth is pretty much the biggest reason why the healers in this game are so good. So now we've covered everything about Scientist's basic kit. It's not much, but for what it's worth, it's a very solid kit. And it can only get better with upgrades, which is what we'll be covering next. Okay, before we actually get into Scientist's normal upgrades, let's quickly discuss the elephant in the room, Steam Blaster. So, like I said in the poll, legendary upgrades get a video of their own, and I'm still following through with that. But it would have been wrong of me to not at least mention this upgrade in this video. If you've never seen it, it's basically one of the strongest weapons in BFN, and it's the reason why some people even play Scientist. But I'll save that discussion for another video. Now, with that out of the way, let's discuss some of Scientist's upgrades. I'll begin with what I consider to be his best supportive upgrades, starting with Wormhole. This upgrade extends the warp's travel distance, making it now travel 77.82 feet, or 22.5 meters to my non-American viewers. I don't really think I need to explain how good this upgrade really is. I mean, the footage speaks for itself. Next up is Power Wash, which improves the range and healing of the healing hose when you're ADSing. The range difference isn't really something you'll notice often, but the healing rate is, and you'll probably catch it because it makes the task of killing a zombie much more difficult than it would be normally. And the final supportive upgrade in this section is Evolution, which gives Scientist full overhealth every time he spawns in for about 20 seconds. It may not sound supportive at first, but when you consider how much HP you may lose trying to get the teammates, it might make a little bit more sense. Alright, now let's quickly cover the other 2 upgrades in this section, the attacking ones. So let's start with Precision, which essentially makes Goo Blaster a slightly larger slobber shot pellet. Basically, when this upgrade is equipped, it combines every goo pellet from your primary when you ADS, which makes your shots much more accurate. Now this one's pretty good on its own, but the final upgrade paired up with this one is very deadly. Dolphin Blasting. This is by far Scientist's best upgrade, and it's because it makes him an incredible attacker. The upgrade works exactly like Rapid Spin for Corn, which is to say that this upgrade improves Scientist RPM every time he gets a kill, and the effect stacks up to 3 times. The exact increase at each stage is 15% for 1 kill, 28.0435% for 2, and 51 you get the idea for 3 kills and beyond. Every kill adds 15 seconds to the timer of this upgrade being active, and once the time runs out, the stacking is reset. So basically, this upgrade is disgusting, and for a long time, it was the only reason a lot of people even played this character. So that section was a bit longer, sorry about that. But now we get to move on to the final main section of this video, that being the build section. This is the part of the video where I recommend 3 builds to you guys, and if you want to use them, great. If not, that's also great. This section is here more so to show you guys the potential combinations of his upgrades. With that out of the way, let's start with this first build. This is the attacking build, with Dolphin Blasting and Precision. This is one that I alluded to briefly earlier, and based off of this footage, I think you could see why I mentioned it. Seriously, this makes Scientist a legitimate threat, and one that could possibly wipe a whole team off of the map, depending on how good the user is. Next up is a Reviving build, with Wormhole, Revive Reward, Reanimate, and Refreshing Revive. The one upgrade that I didn't mention here that isn't a default upgrade is Reanimate, which is like a few other upgrades I discussed in the past. It basically slices the time to revive someone in half when they're in proximity of Sticky Healy thingy. Besides that, I think the build's purpose is very obvious, and every selection here makes an impact on the reviving process. And finally is probably a build I shouldn't recommend due to how annoying it is, but it's a healing build. It has Reflexive, CPR, and Power Wash. I'll quickly discuss the 2 upgrades here that I didn't before. Reflexive allows Scientists to gain health when healing zombies, and CPR increases the healing rate of the healing hose when you're healing someone who is already at low health. So now that you know what those 2 upgrades do, I think you can understand how disgusting this build is. I feel bad for anyone who would have to go up against this. It would suck. And now, after looking at all of the information presented in this video, we can finally answer the big question. Is Scientist worth trying? Well, I would say yes. Scientist is very different from his older counterparts, but that's definitely for the better. He is a much better support in this game than he ever was before, and I think for that, it's worth trying him out. And I believe that conclusion ends this video. How do you guys feel about Scientist? Do you like him? Do you not? Well, tell me in the comments down below. And if you're new around here and you like what you saw, then drop a like, maybe even subscribe, and I'll see you guys most likely in the Steam Blaster video, because I bet that's gonna win the next poll. Peace.